So I am up at very late at night, working, cleaning. Okay, that's one of the things I do. But I wanted to come here and talk really quickly about being wise when you move forward in life and moving on from one community to another. And I'm talking about this when it comes to ATRs in particular. Um, Sometimes relationships in the communities do not work out. They just don't. There's all kinds of reasons, and then there's no particular reason, but it don't work. And you have to recognize that for yourself when when things are not clicking for you. And it can be hard to unhinge yourself or invest yourself from another person that you have been working with for some time, but have been noticing that the relationship is just not, like, you cannot build it. And sometimes you cannot build it because of life circumstances. It's not always a fault, right? This is not always about you getting online and getting mad with a person and bashing them and stuff like that. And you may have just cause to be able to do so, but you also want to add to it, there are things that happen in human life that just make it so that you realize the relationship you were going to have with this person, or that you had envisioned with this person, is not what is actually happening. And when that happens, you need to be able to have a real serious, honest talk with yourself and go, what's going on in my life? Like, take stock on what's happening. Because when it comes to specifically ATRs, you have a person who is guiding you through this process. If you can't reach them all the time, and when I say all the time, I mean majority of the time, if you got major stuff going on and you really need help and they're just not available, you have to make a decision there. And it's not to say that the person is not good at what they do. They could be very good at what they do, but they may not be good at what they do for you because of timing, because of life and unforeseen occurrences. You're not always going to be aware when major stuff is going on in another person's life, because they may not even feel close enough to you to tell you, or they may feel close enough to tell you, and still at the same time your life is going haywire. Like everything is going crazy, and you cannot make heads or tails of what's going on. Like, you cannot see the forest for the trees. And you can feel very hurt, right? If you're calling repeatedly and they're not picking up the phone. If you keep making plans and those plans don't come through, and you realize you out there by yourself anyway. Like, you just by yourself. When you realize that is what's happening, you got to make a decision. You have to make a decision, because it can pull at your literal emotions and your heart, especially as we're getting older out here and all this stress going on. It's time to just, get down to brass tacks. Look at what is happening, right? Maybe you have done some work. Maybe you have done some spiritual praying, and I mean, like, you've been really busy, and Spirit just dropped an answer in your lap. And you're aware, like, what's going on. Spirit can send you a dream. Spirit can send you a confirmation of that dream within days of it. And then boom, and then like, okay, so I'm not without any type of connection here, but it's just not a connection to this person that I thought it was going to be. It's more of a connection with spirit. And you may have to take time at that time to be by yourself and get back to your basics. Okay? I'm saying this because at the end of the day, I've learned a lot of lessons in life over time. And it's not always about blame, but it is about the reality that life has to go on. And sometimes paths are no longer the same. They're just not. It's just that simple. You're not going to be able to continue that relationship. Now, how you choose to go about it, some people have like a really big, bad blow up. You know what I mean? I don't suggest that at all. Some people send a letter. I've seen that. Not seen it, but I've heard of that for certain. Some people back off because they're reading the writing on the wall. Like they're reading the room. And they're not even in the room. You understand? But at the end of the day, they make a decision to go, you know what? This just is not that. This is not that. And no matter how much you want to weather that storm, there's also other things that may have been going on that let you know intuition-wise, like, you know what? I'm good. And not necessarily that you are good, but that you realize you're not getting the guidance. And it could have been going on for quite some time. And when I say quite some time, I'm not talking about a couple of weeks. I'm not talking about a few months. It could be years of this stuff going on. When you realize that is happening and you're getting more and more, like you may be able to reach out during a crisis and get to them, right? And it's just a fluke that day. Because for real, it's because you're in a desperate situation. For real, on other days when you call them, when it's a serious situation, they don't answer your phone calls. Not a single one. And you start to realize, you know what? I'm not welcome at the table with the cool kids no more. And maybe I never was welcome at the table with the cool kids. And that's okay. That's okay. I get the message. I read you loud and clear. I got it. And then what you do is you just kind of back off, recede into your world and your life, and you do you. That is a very hard, that's not an easy determination to come to. I don't think you come there lightly. I don't feel that you easily just get up and walk away from any type of relationship whatsoever. But like take for instance, when you've told them something major to happen in your life and they bring it up because they think everything is still the same and because they totally forgot what was going on with you, because they could have so many different godchildren, mentees, people, students that they're teaching that they don't remember. And it's not necessarily that you would be looking to this person to remember, but it just goes to show more of the disconnect of this is not that anymore. You could have been real cool in the gang in the beginning, but life throws you curveballs left and right. And sometimes the challenge of life is to shake you and make you go, okay, I'm hearing y'all. I can't be here anymore. And when you recognize that and you get up, you got to make your peace with it. And I suggest that when you make your peace with it, you send nothing but love. Don't have to have a conversation. Not always necessary. Some people would say, oh, you owe them that type of thing. But then you, after the years of knowing the person, you kind of know how it will be received. And so you just decide to Call it a day. Please note, this is very regular in ATRs. Very regular. I've seen things where, and I mean, this is just online, where back in the day, Facebook groups and stuff like that, you hear about people being in certain things and having received certain ceremonies, and then, they get into an issue with their mentor, with their teacher, with their godparent, and you watching a knockdown drag out on the internet. You want things to be as peaceful as you can. So if you are going to decide to do that, you have to do so in a way that's just non-antagonistic, non-argumentative. Take the high road and wish everyone love. But sometimes it's done. And really, you probably was the last one to get the memo because it had been done for them for a minute. But once you read the memo, you became clear. And I think it would hit you like a ton of bricks. Right? And then you go, okay, I get it. It hurts. That type of stuff hurts. We're not even going to talk about all the other ramifications of what I'm speaking on. We're just going to talk about the personal relationship that is now gone. Because this person could have been a staple in your life for quite some time. And I'm going to say this again. It's sometimes so much not personal. It's so much about the fact that life is throwing you and this person curveball after curveball after curveball, and the separation is inevitable. There's nothing you can do about it. And some people go, no, you just hang on, you do this, I'm calling hogwash. Okay, hey, peace, hey. It's your world. Whatever you say it is, that's what it is. And what I say it is what it is too, right? And so when we realize this, it's nothing but peace and love. Once that does happen, though, it is time to take stock in yourself and determine which is the best path forward. This is something that I know a lot of people have gone through. I've gone through it. And it sometimes just cannot be avoided. Just can't. Just cannot. And it's okay. It's literally okay. Because maybe then the balance will come back into both parties' lives. Because maybe all that was happening because something was completely off kilter. And now it's getting ready to get back to peace and balance in both people's lives. I hope that this was helpful for someone. Wishing you all peace and love. See y'all later.